Oh, sorry about that. Listen, thank you guys for coming. I appreciate it. We have a couple of quick announcements. The 15 minutes of lame guest tonight had to cancel. I don't want to throw his name out there. I don't want to get his personal, business out, but he had a personal problem, and it's not my story to tell. So he's going to rejoin us sometime before November. So we have no 15 minutes guest tonight because I couldn't pull anybody last minute. I mean, it just happened today. So I just want to get that out of the way really quick and let everybody know right off the bat. But that's okay because it's more time with my friends. Mark, who is going to come on tonight with his lovely wife, Jayne. Very excited. I haven't seen them in a year, and I'm going to get to see them again next month when we go up to Canada for the CRBE show. So we got a lot of stuff going on here. So I don't really know what else more to... Oh, real quick. All right. Got to get this shit over with, right? This episode is sponsored by Phenome. If you need your snakes tested, the shed testing, if you need your chondros tested, if you need your skinks tested, they can do it all. I've talked to Patrick last week, and he's overwhelmed with skink shed testing, so that's a good thing, right? And listen, they're on Chewy now, so they don't need me, all right? Yeah, what are you gonna do? So let's just see who's here tonight. Let's just start validating everybody. I know that's the only reason you're here. You better get them in quick. You only have 9 episodes left before I'm gone. So, by the way, I do have one 15-minute spot available before November. So if anybody wants to throw their hat in the ring for this year's competition, just DM me on the old gram and let me know if you want that spot. And I'll give it to you because I honestly I just don't care anymore. Okay. Listen, Brave Adventures. Thank you, brother, for coming. I believe that's Chad. Listen, we got blind Mike Duval here. I love it. I'll be loving you, Mike, forever, even when I'm gone. So don't you worry about it. You could always hit me up. HJS Serpents, Rich and Sarah. Rich and Sarah have been an unreal help in the Operation Deeds Not Words campaign that we had this year for disabled vets and first responders. And we hit our 10K mark, $10,000 that we're donating to Camp Freedom. We're going to be going up this month to hand them a really big check. And Rich and Sarah are going to be with us there. Sammy's going to be with us there. I believe Jay is, Paul, Kevin, all the people that really just helped us have an open invitation to come up to Camp Freedom with us. And we hope to see you there. Lace, my girl, 15 Minutes of Lame winner last year. She's going to be in Canada. I can't wait to see her. Hang out with her for a little bit. My boy, Michael Graham. Man, dude. Can't wait to see you next month, man. I'm going to be very excited to hang out with my Canadian people because, they get it, man. They keep the fun going. And I've never been to a show where I saw more people excited to be behind the table than at the CRBE. So definitely, if you guys are in any of the adjoining states, come up to Canada. That's what is it? September 18th. We're going to be there for 2 days. Adam from Proper Royals is going to be co-hosting the podcast with me. We're going to be going all day Saturday, most of the day Sunday. And Paul, Sammy, Kevin from Sugar Skull, they're all coming up with us. I believe Shane is coming. The Harbins are coming. We got a lot of people ready to go. So, it's another Canada invasion going on in September this year. Mercery Morphs, thank you for stopping by, buddy. I appreciate you. Dembala. Dembala's going to be in 15 minutes this year. Definitely love it. My boy Dwight, the Pie Man. I don't know if you guys know this guy, but this guy's cool as hell. He sends me fucking music from the 60s and 70s literally every day. And I get my daily dose of P-Funk from the Pie Man, so I appreciate it. Bobby Kovac, what the fuck are you doing here, man? Thank you so much for coming by, Bob. Been watching your videos lately. They've been great, and your podcast is great. I'm learning a lot about the gecko stuff. I still watch this shit, even though I'm leaving. Held Cold Pythons. Oh, that's a cool name. You're new here. Fucking what's up, man? Yo, yo, yo. Hey, yo. Away. Eric B. Nora Kem. What's going on, man? How are you doing, Eric? Thank you for popping by. I appreciate it. Aurora. I always thought Aurora hated me. So I am way happy that I've seen her here the last couple of episodes. TJ Hutch. She is going to be, Jen is going to be in the 15 Minutes of Lame. She's going to be on either the next episode or the episode after that. Look, Java's Reptile Room. This is fucking, man, we're getting all the heavy hitters in tonight. I appreciate it. Thank you, Rachel, for coming by. And then we got Join Reptiles. Man, there's a lot of people. Jesus Christ. I'm just so you guys know, I'm the only one here doing this. I'm doing the back end, doing the front end. And I get distracted very easy if there's a shiny object in front of my face. So I appreciate you. I appreciate patience. Lowe's Exotics, what's up, brother? Look at that. Mitzi's here. You know, how good could it be? We get all the hotties here. Okay, there's more hotties here than on any show. All right. You know what's great is we have a women's show hosted by me that usually goes on Sundays. And we are like the best rated women's show that has to deal with reptiles on YouTube. We crush the competition. That's all I'm saying. And that's funny, right? Because fucking, yeah, the under 30 white women used to hate me. So I'm happy that everybody keeps showing up and they're coming around. What else do we got to talk about? Oh, anybody see Adam Wicken's video saying the ball python hobby is dead? Okay. And if you want a guaranteed way to lose money, join the ball python hobby. Now, it's funny that he's not getting a lot of backlash, but when I said this shit a year ago, everybody was shitting all over me, coming after me, saying I'm an enemy of the hobby and I'm biting the hand that feeds me. Yeah, you just called it. Listen, I just don't like seeing people get ripped off by the but by people selling. Like right now, a lot of the big guys, at least here in America, they're not even selling snakes anymore. They're selling fear of missing out, because you all know your $10,000 ball python or $15,000 ball python won't be able to get $800 next year on auction. So where's the incentive, right? I think Justin said it best. It's really hard when the hobby is like this to want to invest, because you don't want to catch a falling knife, right? But there's still ways to make money in this hobby. I don't understand why people don't embrace the pet side more. And if you sell 10 snakes at $500 a piece, that's $5,000 for a dumb weekend at some shithole in Florida. $5,000 a weekend is fucking amazing. Okay. I think that people could still make it in this hobby. I don't think that the threshold to come into this hobby is $250,000 anymore. Because I mean, listen, that was said by the frat boys, right? The frat boys that are just like, there is no way we're going to let you normal people join our exclusive club. Because really, who the fuck has $250,000 to invest in this thing right now? But at the end of the day, you don't have to do $250, because you can make money by doing less than that. I know wholesale guys that nobody's ever heard of that sell Ultramels for $100 a piece, 50, 60, 70, 80, 100 at a time. And they were telling me that it's easier to sell a single gene pied right now in bulk, okay, than it is to sell a single 13 gene clown combo, right? And look, I kind of believe it because I'm not an asshole. I've been to Morph Market, so I see these things, and yeah, what are you gonna do? Okay, I think the auctions are really one of the things that really really put a shit on this thing because you know 5-8 years ago was great. Okay, that's what all I'm saying. It was great. We made a lot of money. All right. Look at this, Jen. What's going on? Thank you for popping by. I appreciate you. See, all the hot girls come. All right, we don't play. I got a hot girl coming on right now with Mark. You wouldn't think that Mark could get such a hot wife, but this guy got the hottest wife in Canada. Unreal. All right, I'm gonna bring him out right now. Boom. What's going on, guys?
Are you there?
Yeah, we're here.
I'm watching you here on the iPad, and I'm gonna put that away. How's that? Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you good.
Good.
All right.
Excellent. Excellent.
Hey, Jayne, what's up? How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Oh, I'm living the dream. Okay, this is how we do it in America. Okay,
That's it. That's a positive attitude. I appreciate that.
Yeah. Believe me, it's hard. All right. So, Mark, talk to me. What's been going on, man? I'm going to see you guys next month. Are you excited about the CRBE?
Yeah, I am because last year I missed it because I was going in for surgery. I was scheduled to have hernia surgery the week before, and then it got postponed for 10 years because our health system in Canada absolutely sucks.
Right.
No, I'm just kidding. I postponed it until the week after, because I knew you guys were coming up, and I wanted to host you here at our place and do a barbecue and cook some burgers, and
that was fun.
That was a lot of fun.
That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I sorry.
Mark's backyard is not made for fucking wheelchair people. All right. So I had to go, and thank God for Jayne, because Jayne made me look cool. Mark has like a what do you call that? A lowered patio?
I don't know what you would call it. We call it the Oasis.
Yeah,
it's a
he has
jungle.
stairs. He has stairs going to the main table, right? So I couldn't get down there. Jayne came up and hung out with me all night. I fucking loved her. Right? That was the night I was like, yo, if anything ever happens to Mark,
we parked you on the deck, and it was perfect. It was perfect.
It was such a great time.
It was a great night. Yeah, I really enjoyed that. So obviously I didn't get to do the CRBE last year, and I'm doing it this year, and there's going to be a few changes in the look and everything like that. But yeah, very much looking forward to it. And seeing all our American friends coming up and invading Canada.
Yeah, Shane is coming up. The Harbins are coming up. I was talking to who the hell was I talking to? Oh, Lace. Lace is coming up. Lace is coming up from Texas.
Nice.
So we're excited, man. But I don't know. Are you going to get your table back from Gerald? Because Gerald said he's going to fuck you up if you try and get that table back. Right?
No, we're all together. So Gerald and Crystal. So Gerald has a booth. Crystal is in between us, and then it's my booth. So we have 50 feet all together.
Nice.
I'm taking 25 feet, and Gerald and Crystal are taking 25 feet. So it's going to work out perfect.
Yeah, I can't wait to see Gerald and Crystal either.
And Gerald's taking my old spot.
Right.
I just moved down a little bit. So but we're all in that same section together.
You have the access there to the super hallway, right? That gets you everywhere. Yeah. Right.
Yes, that super hallway comes in very handy.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. Hopefully, we'll be hitting the keg one night, and go from there. So,
well, we're going Saturday night. So what I'm doing is I'm going down on the Friday and setting up. Jayne's staying here because we're getting a new puppy. And
nice. Okay.
yeah, we're getting a puppy next Saturday. So she's going to stay here with the pup. I'm going to set up in Shane's meeting me there with the Harbins and his son, and they're going to help me set up my booth. Then I'm coming back here and putting all my animals into their tubs, and then we're coming down first thing Saturday morning, and
Gotcha. Okay.
and with the animals. I just, the less time the animals can be in those tubs, I feel a lot better. So
Yeah.
that's what we're gonna do and go from there. But the keg, I don't know if you know, they tore it down.
Yeah.
And they built a new one. So we're in business.
Yeah, I'm very happy. We were so bummed out last year when we couldn't go there. So it's going to be fun, man.
So
I think
I have to ask you, why are you guys so fascinated with the keg? I would think that in the United States there's all kinds of steakhouses, and the keg is a steakhouse. It's a Canadian steakhouse, started in Canada. So why do you guys love the keg so much?
I don't know if I'm in love with the keg as much as I am with the exchange rate there.
Exactly.
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
Canadian dollars.
Yeah.
Because we got the bill, and the bill was like, for 3 people, it was $300, I think, maybe
Okay.
maybe even less than that, 250.
Yeah.
And I was just like, this is great. Like this is like I got it, guys. Don't worry. But like in America, at a good steakhouse, you're paying $400 or $500 for 2 people.
Really?
So,
Really?
Wow.
Yeah. So right away, I was just like, all right, we got to hit this place every year. And last year we rented a giant truck too, to come up.
Yeah,
And
we saw that.
I was just like, maybe we'll just take my car again. And Paulie's like, dude, we can't go back to your piece of shit. We gotta do the truck again. So we're gonna do the truck again.
Cool.
And and listen, whenever you get to hang out with Sammy, I mean, Sammy, it's like it's just a good time. So getting to hang out with Sammy in Canada with Gerald, Crystal, Paul, Kevin, all Shane, especially. I haven't seen Shane in about a year. So to hang out with all the people is going to be fun again.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, I plan on going to Canada every year.
Oh, cool.
Because overall, it's just a more, I don't know if I want to say happier show, but it's definitely, you could tell there's nobody hanging out on their phone behind a table there when we came. Well, everybody was engaging. Yeah. So.
Well, we try to either be standing up. This year, I'm going to bring some stools, so at least we're elevated, that it looks like we're standing up.
Right.
And of course, the stools are going to match the booth nicely. But what's really cool about this show is that it's not just a reptile show, even though it's called the Canadian Reptile Breeders Expo. It is part of a bigger show called the Canadian Pet Expo. And so there's dogs, cats, fish, budgies, parrots, I mean, you name it, and plants, a lot of plants there. So, it can get, I don't know, you can be overwhelmed a little bit just looking at reptiles sometimes. And what it also does is it introduces a lot of people that aren't aware of our hobby and the reptile industry. And they, start asking questions, and some of them even end up buying, snakes or, geckos and stuff like that. It doesn't matter what they buy, is as long as they see it in a good light, I think it's a win.
Yeah. And the great thing the last couple of years that we were there is that you had to go through the reptile section to get to any of the other sections. So that was great. And I remember last year, Adam, who's going to be up there again this year with me, from Proper Royals, It's like, yo, I just watched a dog jump 30 feet into a water tank. Yeah,
Yeah.
you know, and so they have things like that there too. They just make it a lot more fun. And
for sure.
and nobody was really bitching, at least to me, about sales at the end. Everybody was happy with what they did, and you know, it was great. I just thought that if the hobby was more like that this year, it wouldn't be in the shitstorm of a situation it is now.
Well, you brought up a very good point as far as, you know, selling pet snakes, and I definitely see the industry shifting that way, and that's why we embrace this type of show, because not only does it bring out the reptile enthusiasts, but it brings out pet people. And, you know, if they go, oh, wow, I didn't know I can own a snake or, you know, a gecko or whatever. So it's really good that way. And what they're not looking at genes. They're looking at
Right,
pretty.
right,
And from day one, I've always been about pretty. And so if pretty sells, and so if we can do that, and like you said, you know, if you can sell a pretty snake for $500, I've sold pretty snakes as pets for $1,000 and
right.
upwards. And, you know, like this dog we're getting, it's a, you know, beautiful long coat German Shepherd. I don't know if you can see the one that's laying by my feet. But, you know, it's $3,000. So people do spend good money on pets.
Oh yeah,
And,
yeah.
and, you know, buying that $200 snake might be just a stepping stone to a 500 to 1,000 or whatever, because everybody wants cool. And everybody wants pretty, and everybody wants something beautiful to look at, because it brings you joy. So I think that's where we are moving as a hobby. And I mean, today I still see snakes that, you know, are loaded with genes, and, you know, they're priced at $10, $15, $20,000, and I'm like, but it's not pretty. You know,
Right.
it could make some pretty stuff, but in order to do that, you have to be a breeder, and not everybody wants to be a breeder.
Right. I don't think the hobby is shit overall. I think that the breeder to breeder end of the hobby is going to be rough now, which I don't think was ever going to be sustainable for a long time, because you're, no matter what you're doing as far as breeders, you're selling to your competition anyway, right? So
Yeah, 100%.
I've seen so many people you know come in and hit the, you know, spend 50, 60, $70,000 and hit the you know, hit the combo that the breeder's been trying to get for years, right, in their first try. But I've also seen people spend 60, $70,000 and lose their fucking house because they were sold a ticket to the big game, and now they're being told that they should just be regulated to a weekend game at the Y, you know, and they should be happy about it. And I
Yeah.
think that's kind of bullshit, you know. I think that the people that I've been seeing that have the most fun at the shows here, and I've really only gone to local shows, you know, recently, are like the father-son team or the mother-daughter team, where if they make $1,000 a weekend and they get to talk about snakes in their hobby all weekend, they're thrilled to death, right? But the
Yeah.
guy that had to sell $20,000 worth of animals and only sold $3,000, that dude is miserable as hell, you know?
Yeah.
So
Oh, yeah.
that's where I think the problem is. And I also think that with everything being online these days, the people who are upset at the hobby are more vocal now, you know, than ever
100%.
before. You know,
Yeah.
because you never knew that they were going to leave before. You know,
Yeah.
you just, but now, you know, it's like collection sale. You know, I won't sell these snakes individually, which I always think is funny as hell too, because I'm like, you better get whatever you can for those snakes, because they are worthless right now. You know, because I've seen so many people dump money into shit that didn't have a plan. you know.
Well, you have
And
to have a plan. I
yeah,
mean,
yeah,
and the plan starts from, it doesn't start with a calculator where you go, okay, if I have this many snakes and I average 6 eggs per clutch and I breed blah, 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 and oh my God, look how much money I'm going to make. You got to calculate your expenses, and your expenses is in food and housing, electricity, and all that has gone up dramatically. And, and time. Yeah. If you can't stay on top of things, you're going to be in trouble. And I've talked to far too many breeders that are like, I can't afford to feed my snakes. There's just
right,
too
yeah,
many of them.
yeah,
And I mean, I'll be honest, the most I ever did in 1 year was 148 clutches. And
mm,
it was hell. I mean,
yeah,
I'm lucky because I've always bred my own rodents. I have never had to buy outside rodents other than to start my colony of rats.
right,
And but it was hard keeping up, and I was keeping up, definitely keeping up and feeding everything. But that's a lot of rodents to manage right there. And this year I'm going to do 31 clutches, and there might be 28 that are good. I had a female just spit out 16 slugs. I had another female come out with 9 perfect eggs, and they were all duds. And so I'm not counting. Those are in the 31.
right,
So I'm looking at about 28. And I'll tell you, it's really fun just having that many snakes. Because usually my hatchling room is full. And
right,
this year it's sitting half empty. And I really like that.
right,
It's been great.
right. I remember when our first year, which was like 2010, um,
Hmm.
all of you guys were like, "How many snakes you have?" And we're like, "We have like 110, breeders." And they're like, "Breed 100, all right? There's no way all of them are gonna go, right?"
Hmm.
And yeah, that first year we had 100 clutches the first year, and that's when I was really just like, "Yo, these breeders are liars." Number one, and number two, you got to quit your job to take care of 100 clutches because
Yep.
that's I think we had like 680 babies, well, like on year one, and that was really when it became a business a lot quicker than it was supposed to,
Yeah.
because we were like, we could probably handle half that if all of us are working, at this. But when you get 100 clutches and there's one dude working, it's yeah, it's pretty rough. So I don't know how you did 148 clutches. That's insane.
Yeah, it was crazy. It was crazy. It was like there was no free time. I mean, I was working late, and obviously at that point I was doing this full time. But Jayne can attest to how much I had to work, and she helped a lot. I couldn't have done it without her.
Yeah. No. Now, Jayne, you're still working, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And you're doing the travel stuff, right? Has that industry taken a hit like the ball python's taken a hit because everybody could do their own stuff now?
What do you mean everybody can do their own stuff now?
Well, like you take people to like Asia and Egypt and shit like
Yeah.
that, right?
Yeah.
So now, what's to stop somebody from Expedia from going on and booking a trip for 4 times less?
Well, they won't be booking it 4 times less. I'll tell you that right
Yeah.
now. Yeah, go for it.
Oh, that's a loaded question. Okay. So yeah, I mean, you can go on Expedia and you can book whatever you want to book. I'm really lucky that we traveled extensively before I became a travel agent. So, I mean, this year alone, I've spent a month in Mexico traveling around all the hotels. So, if your friend Fred says, "Oh, this hotel in Mexico is the best one I've ever been to," my answer always is, "Where else has Fred been?
Right.
You know, and if Fred hasn't been anywhere else, well, you know, fuck Fred's opinion, in my opinion. I mean, you are paying me for my opinion. And honestly, I book it for the same, I don't know how it is in the US, but I book it for the same price as you would see on Expedia anyway. So
Right.
why not let me do it for you? And,
Right.
you know, I do a lot of groups usually, and I love Egypt. It's one of my favorite places. I've been there, what, 4 or 5 times now. So I know what you should do and what you shouldn't do and what you should see and what you shouldn't see. And if you want to do it on your own, have at it, you
So
know?
your answer to has your business taken a hit like the ball python thing has is no, right?
Yeah.
I it's hard for me to say what happens in the US, right? But I know I mean, Canadians travel extensively. I mean, the average Canadian, I mean, I would say most people I know travel once a year, but a lot of people I know will travel 3, 4 times a year. I mean,
Right.
Europe is huge. A lot of Canadians spend the winter in Portugal now, or Europe, or Spain, or whatever. Um, yeah, I mean, we travel a lot. So that really what people are looking for, my opinion, really is what they're looking for.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, yeah,
Well,
Yeah, no,
Jayne's like a consultant, but she'll look after booking everything.
right.
And when you've been there, experienced the local culture, experienced the travel, experienced the food, experienced all those things, it goes a long way in organizing somebody's trip. And you know, the Jayne going on these group trips, and sometimes I join her. Um, that's a very, very small part of the business. She organizes trips for many people, but she organizes the whole itinerary, you know, from the airline tickets, from being picked up at their home to take them to the airport and bring them back to their home, all the transportation when they're there. I mean, these are really, really, some of them very high-end trips, but
Right.
they're,
and a lot of people are like, you know what? I see all this shit on the internet. There's so much of it. I'm so overwhelmed. I just
yeah.
want you to tell me
Right.
what to do.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't like. I'm always amazed when these dudes are like, "Oh, I'm going to Ethiopia," you know, for you know my first time, and I'm going alone. There is no fucking way. Like I'd get killed if I went to Ethiopia alone. I would absolutely call Jayne, all right, for a trip to Ethiopia. I'd call Jayne for a trip to England, all right. So
Yeah, sure.
you know, I don't understand, you know, how these people do just be like, I'm gonna get on Expedia and I'm gonna go to, you know, Senegal alone,
Mm,
and I'm just like, that shit is crazy.
hmm.
But it's you know, it's interesting, and you know, like in America, people don't travel nearly as much out of the
No,
country
no.
No.
than you guys do in Canada. You
Yeah,
know, so
Hawaii. Hawaii.
oh yeah, Hawaii maybe, yeah.
yeah.
And even in
And
Hawaii, like everybody thinks it's Dog the Bounty Hunter, you know? Well, like I
Right.
wouldn't go to Hawaii because I'd be like, there's so many crackheads in Hawaii. I'm not going to go to Hawaii, you know?
really,
Um,
it doesn't
well,
appeal to me at all going to Hawaii. I mean, it, I don't know. I don't like any place that's commercialized, and I want to go to a country where I can't speak the language. The food is like what the fuck is that? You know,
right,
and
right,
you
And
know,
it's good.
yeah, I want places like that, but not everybody does. One comment I always make, like cruises, like ocean cruises, is I hate that. I would not want to be amongst that many people. I don't
yeah,
like people. Yeah, just no. But cruises are great for people who want to travel but stay at home at the same time.
right, right. Yeah, I always say like a cruise is like hanging out with people that you're going to hate for 7 or 8 days. You know, it's and they're always they're so stupid. Like, have you ever been invited to somebody's house after they've
Yeah.
been on a cruise and they want to show you they're like, they had a fountain and it was made of chocolate, and they had a guy on the wooka wooka, and you could, dance all night. And I'm like, that sounds horrible. I would not want to do
Yeah.
that.
So in November, we went to Vietnam, Cambodia, and Thailand, and we did a river cruise in between Ho Chi Minh City and Siem Reap in Cambodia. But the river cruise we stopped in little villages along the way, and we go into local schools, where there's little kids who, like, these kids have nothing, but they're
Right.
so happy, and they're so happy to see you. And to me, that's a life-changing experience rather than going on a Royal Caribbean cruise with 8,000 people.
Right.
I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah,
No, that's
we've
actually
gone we've gone to like very remote villages, fishing villages in Cambodia, where houses are on these wooden stilts. And when I say wooden stilts, they're like tree stilts that have been cut down. They're 30 feet high because that's how high the water goes. And there's one school, and it's for all ages. And we went to the local market, and we bought like tons of school supplies and coloring books and pencils and everything, and candy, cookies. And we went down this river to this fishing village and met the people in the village and all the kids, and gave everything out and stuff like that. Boy, when you do something like that, it just feels really good, that you can make people happy that way. And these aren't people that have access to cities where they're actually asking for things, or they're living their lives, and to be able to go there and interact with them and see the smiles on their faces is pretty cool.
Yeah, that's crazy. Because you guys are such better people than me, because I'm not paying money to go live with poor people. That's not cool, man. There's just no way I'm doing that.
Boy, if we showed you some of the stuff we've
I don't
lived
know.
in, oh man.
You'd be like, hey, Chris, he lives like an Ewok 30 feet above the ground. No, I don't want to do that. I'm like, yeah, okay. I hope they have a pretty fucking steep ramp, okay, for me.
Yeah, you wouldn't do well there. You wouldn't do well there. No.
But now, let's go back to the ball pythons for a minute.
Yeah.
You've found yourself in a little bit of a mess this year with this Scrambler thing. Why is there so much hate? I've told people that the only way I would get back into breeding is if I had Scrambler in the collection. Like I love that. I don't understand what the problem is.
I don't know. I just, I think, thank you for the publicity to all the people that are hating it, because, at least they're talking about it. It was a gene that I've been kind of seeing some changes in my collection, because it was first introduced, I think, in 2011 from a snake I got from Ozzy. And it was a Super Orange Dream Fire, and it was the first clutch of Super Orange Dreams he produced, because I bought an Orange Dream from him right off the bat when he proved them genetic. And he was having a hard time convincing people that this was a gene as well, Orange Dream.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah. And then and he was using his eyes, and like we all did before shed testing.
Yes, that's right.
Right. And there have been many, many snakes like chocolate and mahogany and whatever that weren't very obvious, that people went, this is I'm calling it this, and they went, okay. But when Scrambler came about, when I bought that initial Super Orange Dream, it was like incredibly clean. It looked like a desert ghost. And at that time, we were like, well, this is what a Super Orange Dream looks like, right? And
right.
But it wasn't. It was carrying this extra gene. And as we all do, and what Ozzy still famously does, is he produces beautiful snakes. And how he does that is he takes this beautiful snake and breeds it to this beautiful snake. Well, it was in his collection unbeknownst to him, just like the MJ Axanthic was in my collection unbeknownst to me, and it popped out. Well, his popped out in the first Super Orange Dream clutch. And I remember him calling me and say, Mark, I hit the Super Orange Dream, and I was very happy for him. And I said, look, I'd really like to get one if possible. And I paid, I think, $12,500 for a Super Orange Dream back then. And it was a great investment. And because, Orange Dreams were bringing a lot of money, and it was just the beginning of the project. So as a breeder, I was taking that Orange Dream and Super Orange Dream and breeding it to my best females. And along the way, I was a huge fan of pieds. I had pieds. I wanted a more orange pied. Well, all of a sudden it went from typical pieds with the typical, patches and so on, and the striping down the back, to this snake that had hardly any white, and it looked all like almost looked puzzle-like in a way. And I remember I took some pictures, and Jayne was upstairs reading, and I brought the pictures, and I said, you got to see these. Like, these are wild. And she said, wow, that's completely different. She said, it's almost like they scrambled the pattern. And I went, wow, that's a really good name. So I didn't release it as the Scrambler quite then. I was still working with it, but I saw so much going on every time I bred these snakes. And the one thing that was so consistent was these animals got better as they got older, which has always been the Achilles heel of the ball python industry.
Right. Yeah.
You buy a pretty hatchling, and when it's 2 years old, it just loses all of its, pop. Well, these weren't doing that. And so I recognized that there were other breeders out there who had bought snakes from Aussie, just like I did. And I noticed some of the things that in some of their offspring. So, that's probably where I made a mistake. But I reached out and said, hey, where did you get your original Orange Dream stock from and whatever? And it all traced back to Oz. And I said, I think you have Scrambler in it. And I explained to them, this is what Scrambler is. And they had, they were calling him different names, not thinking it was a gene. And so, we came to the conclusion after talking to a bunch of, different breeders and sharing what I knew, that this is definitely doing something, and it's indisputable. So people started wanting these snakes, and people started, selling them for good money. And because they were that beautiful, if we go back to beautiful snakes, that's what sells. And I guess some people got their nose out of joint and didn't appreciate that these animals were selling for that much money, not realizing that there were a lot of snakes prior to this that were selling for a lot of money that were not anywhere near it, and they were selling for a lot of money before they had shed tests. So, I've been saving a lot of sheds. I just sent in 175 sheds to the University of Montreal. And they're going to do testing. The hardest, so they said they need about 200 sheds in order to do it. But the hardest thing was all my snakes that had Scrambler in it were stacked genes. Getting back to the basic single gene Scrambler was a difficult thing to do. Because it was more difficult, it was more easier to produce a 4-gene snake than it was to produce a 1-gene snake. All of a sudden. So, and it's not like I'm going to go, okay, send me all your normal adult females. There are no normal adult females out there to be bred. People don't have them anymore. So, and I wasn't about to bring adults into my collection to do that anyways, because I don't like introducing new snakes to my collection. So that's where we're at. And you know what? If you want to hate, go for it. You know, it doesn't bother me. I know what I'm looking at. I can see firsthand what it does. And I'm a believer. If you're not a believer,
Yeah.
who cares?
Fuck off. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's just hysterical that for 50 years,
Yeah.
people were looking at things with their eyes and
Yes.
saying, this could do this.
Yes.
And now all of a sudden, because of shed testing, now how much does it aggravate you when some fucking under 30 hipster doofus that's been doing this for like 4 years is telling you that your gene is you know what's great is that fucking every other jack off that I see on these podcasts that say that they have a new gene, that they're like, yo, that's legit. And then Mark fucking Mandic says I have a new gene, and they're like, I don't know about that. Like what sense does that make? You know?
Well, it doesn't, and you know, a lot of people are saying, and you know, even Oz said this. I think it's part of the Orange Dream gene. Well, it's not part of the Orange Dream gene because I have scramblers that have no Orange Dream in them.
Right.
You know, unfortunately, I was probably one of the first ones to support and promote the Orange Dream. So a lot of my collection has Orange Dream in it because, I don't know, I like the color orange. Can you tell? Right? And, you know, and orange sells because it's bright. Brown does not sell. So I wanted to brand with orange, and that's what I did. My logo's orange. I'm orange half the time. But, you know, so it has been separated from Orange Dream. I have all kinds of snakes that have no Orange Dream in it that I call scramblers. But it doesn't matter to me because when I display these animals at a show and people come by, like, you know, they're gobsmacked. And you know, so, and that's all I want is for them to like the snakes.
No, I've been saying for years that ball python breeding is the relentless pursuit of making a brown snake either more or less brown or yellow. You know, that's really all it is. You know, so it's just funny that when these people have been doing it for such a short period of time, when they're coming in, you know, saying, you know, without a doubt that it's not a gene or whatever. You know, I find it very. I just find it funny as hell.
Oh yeah, it's and I don't watch any of those, and a lot of them are doing it for drama purposes and clickbait and whatever. And you know what? Keep talking about it because
right.
You know, just keep talking about it, please. You know, because it gets a lot of mentions and people are like, well, what is this thing? And then they look it up and they go, wow, you know. But you're going to get people that don't want to deny it. I mean, I was seriously thinking about changing the gene because it is recognized on MorphMark to the Jesus gene.
Yeah, the Jesus. Yeah, that would piss off a lot more people. Yeah.
Yeah, well, the reason I was going to call it the Jesus gene is because we've been praying for Morph to come along to make all these snakes look absolutely beautiful as adults, and now that it's here, they want to crucify it.
Yeah,
so.
Yeah, that's that's what I find hysterical about the whole thing.
Yeah,
is that you know, like this, if this isn't the definitive thing, this is one of the things that's going to push along the snakes looking good as adults, right? So,
no question.
I just don't see why the hate, but also, you know, like people don't listen to me, so an endorsement from me is not fucking, you know, you know, ain't nobody in this room here thinking that they're going to learn something from me. They think that they're going to learn something from you, but you know, so you know, it really doesn't matter. But it is aggravating to watch these young people who've been in it for a minute, screaming definitively what is and what is not something,
Oh,
So
100%. 100%. And I mean, if you go back and look, I was part of this. I started in 1999. So I was a part of this whole journey with spiders and pinstripes and pieds. Pieds,
mm,
were the rock star, and I still think they're the rock star. I mean, look at clown. Clown's been around since back then, and clown is still, if not more popular than it ever has been, because of the combos, because of
right,
what you do.
right.
And I've got some clown scrambler stuff blow your mind. And there's some people that just posted some recently, and they're just absolutely insane. And it takes time to do this, and it takes a keen eye. I don't do shed testing because it gets really expensive because it's $50 a shed test up here, and before you know it, you shed test a snake for 4 genes, you're 200 in, and you might get 300 for it, sort of
Right,
thing.
right.
So why bother? You either like the snake or you don't like the snake. I'll tell you what the pairing was, and I'll tell you what I think the genes are, but you either like it or you don't like the snake. And as we move, towards this new era in the ball python hobby industry, whatever you want to call it, we are undeniably moving more towards a pet trade. And that's a good thing because I still maintain that 90% of the world's population has never laid eyes on what we have. And I'm
Yeah,
talking about we as an industry.
I think it's more than that. Yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. And when they do see it, they're blown away. They were like, I can't imagine a snake looking that like that.
right.
And so we've got a huge potential. I mean, what happens when China opens up,
Yeah,
okay, and says, yeah, we're going to start importing ball pythons? It's going to be a heyday. Now, China will go, we're going to breed them ourselves, but they're still going to have to buy the stock to do it.
right.
And all the power to you if you want to do that. But there's a lot of people in this world that have never laid eyes on a ball python and other reptiles, and they're one of the easiest pets you could ever own.
Yeah,
Easier than a fish, I'll
yeah,
tell you that.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's
So,
I remember Justin did a Zoom call with my Patreon people, and I asked him, I was like, "What are you gonna do when the snake available at Petco looks just as nice as the snake that you're selling for 20 grand? It may not be the same snake, it may have different genes,
mhm.
but it looks just as nice to that person because liking something is subjective, right?"
Yes,
And Justin
100%.
said, "Well, we don't know what we're going to do when that happens." And never before has it been so clear that the big players in the hobby were not prepared for snakes, for pet owners to just come in and buy snakes. Because when I was doing it back in 2017, 16, it was unheard of that somebody would spend $1,000 on a pet snake. Now
Mhm.
it's like
Oh,
it's
yeah,
commonplace. So
100%. Yeah.
yeah, it's changed a lot, and I'm curious to see where it's going to go because I think the days I think that people know too much about this hobby now where they're going to invest $100,000 at a time, $150,000 at a time, when they could easily go and see on Morph Market the snake that you paid for 20 grand for last year is selling for 1,100 and not even getting any offers on the auction, So I
Yeah,
think that
yeah.
hurts it.
Well, I'm not a big fan of the auctions. I've never done an auction. And the reason I don't like the auctions is because it's the auctions there 24/7, whereas I'm used to auctions like horse auctions, where it's a specific day and it's a specific time, and everybody shows up for the auction. And whereas this is, well, people aren't looking at these snakes that are on auction, even though if they knew it was available, they might buy it. You're limiting the amount of eyes on that product. And if you limit the amount of eyes, you limit the amount of potential bids, period.
Right.
So I've never been a fan of auctions. I know prior to auctions taking place on Morph Market, there was an auction site that
Yeah,
I think
Reptile Ring. It was Wilbanks.
yeah, Wilbanks thing, and he contacted me and said, you know, we're going to give you exclusive rights to Canada to do this, and I said, I'm not interested. I just don't want to do it. Right. And you know, I'll take my chances at the shows. I'll take my chances with my photography. I'm posting them on Morph Market. I mean, I sell a lot of snakes to a lot of, you know, you were talking about wholesalers. I wholesale most of my stuff out, and you know, to people. And you know, the whole formula is, if I sell it to them for this, they can sell it for this in the pet trade. So they make money, I make money, everybody's happy. Right. And that's the way a business transaction should be. You know, when instead of, and number one, I have never sold a snake to anybody under the premise of, if you breed this, you could make this amount of money. That is not an equation that I discuss. It's like, you know, this is a beautiful snake, these are the genes, blah, blah, blah. And they go, well, what do I get if I breed this? And I said, well, you can do all kinds of things, but I'll never sell a snake on the premise of, you're going to make a lot of money from doing this.
Right. Yeah. No. And that's the problem that I don't like, is a lot of people were brought into this hobby saying, listen, this snake is $10,000 now, but even if this snake drops by half next year, you got a $5,000 snake. And again, what these under fucking 30 hipster jackasses don't realize is that just because you hatch out a $10,000 snake, until you sell it for $10,000, it's not a $10,000 snake.
Yeah.
You know, so like the line of bullshit in the hobby where, you know, some of the bigger guys are still going after the fear of missing out rather than the snake. They're like, oh, don't let this one go. Don't let it, you know, I think they're hoping for what's left of the gullible people, you know? So even if, you know, I put out a $20,000 snake, let's say, and there was one guy that paid it to me.
Mm-hmm.
So what? You can't make a business out of that. You know, you can't make a business out of the one guy that you're hoping will pay your asking price.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so and I don't know. I just don't like the way the hobby's run lately. Where I think it's more, you know, hey, this is the way to do it, and you'll still make money. And again, these people were promised a ticket to the NBA, and they were stuck with the pickup game at the Y every weekend. And those breeders that sold them the snakes are like, you should be happy you're getting $300 a snake. Yeah, you know, but you know, like, dude, I gave you 50 grand. You know, so yeah, I don't like that part of the hobby.
Yeah.
But
I think as well, if I was going to spend $10,000, I would want to spend it with a reputable breeder. I wouldn't want to spend it with somebody who hadn't been in the industry that long.
You don't want to give 10 grand to Joey from Arkansas, who still lives with his mother, you know? So that there's a problem when that happens. So yeah, I just,
I mean, and that's true with anything. I mean, that's true with anything that you buy. I mean, you know, we've just bought another German Shepherd puppy. Mark told you, and we research the crap out of everything we do, and we want to find someone who's really good and has good breeding stock, and you know, we want to see the mother, we want to see the father, and we want to know, we want references. I mean, you know, you don't drop
Right.
money like that without researching.
Right.
And
Well,
I think as much as you are referring to someone who's under 30 with still living in their mom and dad's basement in Arkansas, and I think unfortunately a lot of kids are forced into having still living in their parents' basement right now, because buying your own home is expensive,
you know
right?
why? You know why I don't think that that's acceptable?
What?
Because fucking learn how to do something that the world wants. Okay,
That's right.
that's all. All right.
Be a
You know,
plumber.
it's not hard. I'm a very tough love kind of guy. You know, like when I see these people in wheelchairs just complaining all day, I'm literally like, shut the fuck up and just do it. You know, like nothing pisses me off more than when handicapped people complain about non-handicapped people parking in handicapped spots, right? I'm
Yeah.
like, so the fuck what? You're on wheels, man. You could go a longer distance, right? So just shut the fuck up. What did it take you being in a wheelchair to learn that there are assholes in the world? Like, no, there's always going to be assholes in the world. So just shut the fuck up and stop complaining and figure it out. But that's why I don't take that whole, you know, if you decided in high school that you were going to breed ball pythons and you still live with your mother at 30, there's not something wrong with the world. There's something wrong with you, you know? So you are the victim of
I
bad
have a
decision
couple of
making.
girlfriends. I have a couple of girlfriends whose children still live with them and they're in their 30s, and I'm like, they've got it made. Why would
Yeah.
they want to leave?
Why would they
You,
move? Yeah.
they've got the whole of the basement of the house. They can bring their girlfriends over. They can go grab shit out the fridge. It's like,
Yeah.
why are they ever going to leave?
No, I would shoot myself if I was 30 and still live with my parents. So all right, if I was regulated to a basement, okay, in the house or my old room that I grew up in, and I'm 30 years old, I'd just be like, dude, you have made some very bad choices in your life, you know. So and then I would try and fix it. So for the you know, and that's the whole thing, is that a lot of the like. Have you guys been watching this Monsters of God on HBO?
No,
We have not.
I want to, and we will. We, as a rule, in the summertime, we don't watch TV because, well, you saw our backyard. We
Right.
sit
Yeah.
out there
Why? Yeah. Why?
every
We don't
night.
need it. Yeah.
Yeah, you know, we sit out there. I've got the laser show going. I've got Pink Floyd playing or whatever. Hell, I even have a fog machine now. You know, that fogs the whole place in the laser. It's pretty wild. It's pretty trippy. You know.
But we do
Yeah.
in the winter. We watch TV.
Yeah, we
in the
watch
winter.
TV in the wintertime, you know, when you can't go and sit outside. But we spend, you know, from morning, we get out, we go out there in the morning, we have coffee, and then we sit out there in the evening till, you know, whenever, and take as
Not
much
much in
of it
these
in
bottles
as
anymore.
possible. There's not a lot of wine.
There's
in those
not a lot of
bottles.
wine in these
No,
bottles anymore.
no.
Can I give a shout out to my wine? Can
You
I give a
can.
shout out?
Of
Yes.
course. Yeah.
This is £1 per acre from Australia. And it's very low in sugar for anybody who is pre-diabetic.
No.
It's my shout, which is me. So I have to drink something low sugar. So yeah, that's my shout out.
Yeah. No. It's the show it doesn't make the reptile industry look bad because it's kind of obvious that all this stuff happened a long time ago, right?
Oh, for sure.
But
For sure.
But it does make the reptile industry look like 90% of it is full of white trash losers that are just living at home, which isn't too far from the truth, even right now, even these
Yeah,
days.
but you can say that about any industry out there, whether it's horses, dogs, cats. I mean, you get that. But you know what? One thing I do enjoy about reptile people is they are judged more than any other pet owners or breeders. Okay.
Yeah. Oh,
If
yeah.
if you say you own a horse, you're cool. You own a dog, you're cool. You own a cat, you're cool. You own a snake, you're weird. And it's something that I struggle with because we go away on vacation and I'm like, I said to Jayne, when people ask you what you do, well, I'm a travel consultant, slash agent, whatever. And people ask me, what do you do? I breed snakes. And you wait for it, right? And it's either you're the coolest guy in the room or you're the
Right.
weirdest guy in the room.
Yep.
And I will say that in most cases, I end up being the coolest guy in the room. And because it does give you the opportunity to educate people. And so, what reptile people have to endure, I really admire them because they do have true passion for what they do. And, whether they're covered in tattoos or they're white trash, as you say, I don't think they're white trash. I think they're just passionate people. And we come in all different shapes and sizes. So, I have some great times talking to people.
So if that's true,
Yeah.
I'm going to give him shit here. If that is true,
Yeah.
why do you sometimes, especially if we're on vacation,
Yeah.
Mark will be reluctant to tell people what he does for a living. And I'm like, why? And he gets, I don't know why he does that. However, when we were in Mexico a few weeks ago, he spoke to a guy, and this guy was like, oh my God, I have like 3, 4 ball pythons, and thought it was
Yeah.
the most amazing thing. And you made that guy's day. You should
Right.
share.
Yeah, but
You
that's
should
one
know who
guy.
you are.
That's one guy.
Yeah.
But that's one guy. But
Yeah.
I've sat next to I remember flying down to Mexico. Jayne was already down there, so I was flying down there by myself. And sitting beside me was the ultimate PETA activist with their little boy. And all she did was talk about herself the whole way down there. And then finally she goes, so what do you do? And I said, oh, I breed snakes. And she goes, well, I'm a PETA activist, and I think all animals should be wild, in the wild. And I went, really? I said, have you been in the wild? And she said, what do you mean? I said, have you gone into the wild where these wild animals should be living? And she said, well, what's that got to do with anything? And I said, because we've already wiped out 80% of all living species on this planet. Okay. And the only people that are going to be able to make these animals come back, introduce them back to the wild, are breeders. And it's breeders of mammals, breeders of snakes, breeders of everything. And we're the ones doing the work. And we're the ones that are going to potentially save a lot of species. And she did a complete flip on me. And I was showing her son pictures of the snakes, and he thought they were the coolest things, and to potentially own one. So it was a good learning opportunity for me and them. But it is. I'm very, very proud of what we've done and what we've accomplished, and so. Yeah, I guess I should be more forthcoming.
Yeah. But there's one thing that stays true no matter what. Under 30 white women are the worst people in the world. All right. So fuck them.
I don't think that at all.
You know what?
Yeah,
I would have a tendency to agree with you. But last night, Mark cooked dinner for a whole bunch of young ladies. It was nurses. Our daughter's a nurse, so she wanted to have all her friends over, and I was actually so happy to sit with these young people, young girls, and they was like really smart, very well educated, and really passionate about things and interested in things. And
I never did show them the snakes. I don't do tours.
Right.
I don't want to do that. But But I also said to Jayne, these are people that work at a heart clinic where they
Right.
do the testing for the heart. So they've seen real life, and they
Right.
see real life how it can end in an instant, right?
Right.
So many times my daughter will be testing somebody, and they'll be like, "Yeah, you need to sit over here, and we're calling an ambulance right now." Yeah, and they go into the hospital, and they get stents put in that day.
Right.
Getting back to our health system that apparently sucks so much.
Well,
But-
there is a world of difference between talking to an under 30 nurse and
Yes.
an under 30 influencer that's never worked a day in her life
Yes.
and
Yes.
complains about a 10 grand paycheck every month, you know, when she's doing 15 minutes of work a day. So, yeah, no, I get it. There are some under 30 white women that are okay. Okay. All right. I don't want to paint them all with a broad stroke. Okay. But most of them suck. Okay. They're just the worst, and they can't take jokes, you know. Well,
your jokes aren't very good, Chris. I mean,
listen, my jokes are fucking awesome. Okay.
Okay. You keep telling yourself that, Chris.
Look, I don't have to tell myself. Ozzy, your boy, just told me I belong on the big screen. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
The screen would have to be big to fit me on it. So fucking yeah, but he said I would belong there. So I'm happy with that.
You know what I found when I moved to North America? The thing that struck me the most in England, everybody sort of joshes around and you'll make fun of each other and you'll go, oh, you know, fuck you and things. And everyone's okay and it's all funny and nobody takes it personally.
Right.
I remember when I first moved to North America, I'm like, you guys are so self-absorbed that you're taking so many things so personally.
Yeah.
And, you know, lighten up. And you know, no one ever thinks about you as much as you think they do. You know?
Exactly. This is what happens with people raised who got participation trophies. All right.
Yep.
Like you know, like I missed the hell out of bullying. Right. All right. I know you don't want to hear it, but I do. All right. You know, if you beat up a kid in high school and you stuffed him in his locker and he couldn't get out, and then the next day he got made fun of for wearing the same clothes as he did the day before, it builds character. Okay. It builds character. It makes that kid need to do something else to stand out. And now, I'm very pro bullying. I don't understand why it's got such a bad rap. That's all I'm saying.
I don't think I'm pro bullying.
Yeah, I'm not.
I will never agree with pro bullying.
No,
but I do agree with bullies being, you know, punched in the face.
Yeah,
which isn't allowed anymore.
No.
I mean,
they should be punched in the face.
Okay, funny story. Our son lives in Oklahoma City.
He's in the military.
He's in the Canadian military, but he's in Oklahoma City. And he was sent home from school the one day. And the principal's like, I'm like, why did you send him home? Because he hit a child. And I said, why did he hit the child? And he said, because the child hit him first. And I'm like, well, I've taught him if someone hits you, you just punch him in the face back. That's just what you, but no, it's not allowed. Why?
Well, that's one of the things that bullying was good for. You stood up to the bully, builds character, right? So, this whole, and I think adults should still be able to beat the shit out of kids, regardless if they're your kid or not. All right. Like I got beat by so many nuns. I'm the result of Catholic school. Yeah,
okay.
Where niggas didn't care. You know, I got yanked up by the tie, by the dumb, stupid tie that you had to wear in, Catholic school and everything more times than I could remember. And I think that should still be allowed. You know, I think that should still be allowed.
Did you get caned?
No, the strap.
We would get caned on the hand.
I never
we would get the hand.
Never got the strap. I never got this. I believe in bringing the best out in people. That's what I believe in. I believe that everybody is good at something, and it's important to be able to recognize that in people.
In a perfect world, right? In a perfect world,
Yeah, in
yes.
a perfect world.
Okay.
But
who has the time? Like if I'm talking to a retard, not an actual retarded person, a retard, you know.
okay.
I don't have time to find out what he's good at. Okay. He has to show me what he's good at ahead of time so that I know I can say, all right, this guy's not a retard. Okay. So like I'm not as empathetic as you guys are, you know, like I don't want to bring out the good in somebody. Like that's not my job. My job is to meet the good people already and the people that know that they're good and be worth knowing, you know? So
I'll tell you a little story. So this week, I was contacted by a breeder in the United States, the Real McCoy Exotics. Have you ever heard of the Real McCoy Exotics?
yeah, he's actually in the room tonight. Right here.
Okay. Yeah. And first time I spoke to him, his name is Nate McCoy. And I saw the term the Real McCoy, and I'm thinking, okay, there was a TV show in the late 50s, early 60s called The Real McCoys.
Yeah.
And I mean, back then, everybody watched The Real McCoys because there wasn't much to watch back then, not like today, you know. You watch Bonanza, I Love Lucy, The Real McCoy, Father Knows. But anyways, I'm aging myself. And I said to him, so is it because of The Real McCoys? Like, did maybe your father mention The Real McCoys? Did he watch it or something? And he said, no, my it came from my great-great-grandfather, Elijah. And I was fascinated. So immediately, I mean, we were texting back and forth. I Googled it and found it. And Elijah McCoy was a man of color living, born in Canada. And I believe he said Saskatchewan or something like that. And he invented a lubricating cup that went on steam engines to keep them moving well. And he invented this cup, and Nate will correct me if I'm wrong, that lubricated this part on these steam engines. And when people wanted to, when they were building trains and they wanted these lubricating cups, they said, we don't want these, we want the Real McCoys.
Ah, okay.
And I'm fascinated by the history of these stories. And I said to Nate, I said, you know, it's a great name, but it has so much more history to it. And have you told that story to everybody, or is it on your booth or something? Because I would be fascinated by that story, because it's unique to you. And so it's, you know, finding out things like that, like everybody's got a story. And yeah, I mean, you know that because you've done so many podcasts and you've gotten so many stories out of people. And so if you can find that story in people, they will like telling that story because it does make them proud. So I guess that's what I like to do, is to find that.
Yeah. No, you know what I thought was funny about that whole thing is that you got an 80-year-old dude saying I'm aging myself. We already knew, dude. You know.
Oh, you already knew I'm old?
Yeah.
Okay.
Tell me I'm not funny now, motherfucker, right?
Yeah,
okay.
you are.
All right.
Yeah, slightly. You're on a roll, Chris. You're on a roll.
Yeah, I'm on a roll.
80?
80.
He says you're 80?
80, yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
He's pretty good for 80. Yeah.
Well, all I'm saying is he's like Canada's Hugh Hefner, right? He has the younger woman there right next to him. Yeah.
I'm not that much younger.
Yeah, I'm 69. My younger woman is 64. So
yeah, see, but Jayne looks 40.
I
you
know.
look 74, all right?
Yeah. Yeah. That's because I've been ridden hard and put away wet often.
That's what I'm saying. Boom. All right.
Yeah.
Boom.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
That's a horse term, by the way. That's a horse term. That's from the horse industry. I used to be a cowboy. I used to show horses, and the term is they've been ridden hard and put away wet.
No, I know. I used to own 4 Belgian draft horses,
Okay.
Oh,
And
nice.
yeah, I just kept calling him the gift that keeps on taking, right?
Yep.
Because we were just like, I mean, it was,
Yep.
I mean, I think we were paying $1,000 a month per horse to board them in LA, to a stable in LA. And I was just like, what are we doing? Like this is crazy. Like, you know, like we got a free horse from the Amish people, right?
Uh-huh.
And they were like, we'll give it to you because we were just gonna kill it, right? And I
They're
was
not
like,
nice to their horses.
no, apparently not.
No.
But I found out, like, you know, my girlfriend at the time was like, oh, I got the horse because they were going to kill it, right? But I got it for free. So I was like, that's incredible, right?
Yeah, no,
and
it's
then it
not.
cost like
Yeah.
$5,000 to transfer it to
Yeah.
LA.
Yeah.
And then we were paying $1,000 a month. And I can't touch the horses because when I touch the horses and then I touch my face blows up like Rocky at the end of Rocky.
Oh, wow.
Right.
Okay.
So I
Yeah.
can't see, right? So I was blind
Okay.
for like 3 days.
So you did this for love.
I did it because I was stupid. I was like, well, you're hot, you know,
Okay.
you're gonna get you know, like that's all it takes with me. Like you just
So,
gotta be
Chris,
hot and you'll get what you want.
I don't
you know?
think you're stupid. I think
Yeah.
you're a softie.
Yeah, I
I'm
think
very
you're saucy.
shallow. I'm dumb and very shallow. Right?
Shallow end. You live in the shallow end of the pool.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah,
Chris,
without a doubt.
I know you've only got what, 9 shows left before you
Yeah.
stop doing this and whatever. So look, I'm curious. We've talked about music in the background many times, but I want to know about you. So you used to be quite the musician. Like you
Yes. Yeah.
did a lot of
I was
playing
good.
of,
Yeah.
yeah, you were good. So tell me, like, what bands did you play for?
And what did you play?
And what did you play?
Well, I played guitar and piano, and
Okay.
I've either filled in or subbed for like every almost made it 80s bands. Okay. You
Name
know that
some.
you can imagine.
Tell us who.
Bullet Boys, Warrant, Bang Tango, you know, bands that just were about to make it and then didn't make it, you know. But we did tour with some big bands, you know.
Okay.
So we toured with like you know, the guys from Rat, the guys from Macaulay Schenker Group, you know, things like that. We had shows with Tesla. We had shows opening for a lot of people. And then I was actually just thinking about it the other day. If I had to do that again, I couldn't do that again. You know, like I'm exhausted now. Like I'm in bed at 10 o'clock now. You know, as a matter of fact, when I moved right back from LA to New York, I had gotten a call from a decent band in Europe, right? And they were like, come out for 3 months and, you know, be the fill-in guitar player. And I was just like, there's no way I could handle that. And the way I realized that I couldn't handle it is when I came back to New York, because of what I did in LA, I was kind of like a big deal, right? So these cover bands that played bars that I knew growing up, they were like, come out and, you know, play a song, you know, or two with us, right? And I remember leaving a bar on like a Tuesday night after I played with a band there. And I was like, I was walking in the parking lot, putting my stuff in the car. And I was like, what the fuck are you doing out at 10:30 at night on a Tuesday? Like fucking, you better get the fuck home and get to bed. But when I knew I was like a little bit arrogant was when I was loading up. I went to go see a friend's band. It was a local band, and the bass player was carrying his amp walking in, and he's like, Chris, could you grab, you know, this amp? And I'm like, grab your amp. I'm like, I opened up for Aerosmith. Fuck you. I'm not dragging your amp into this shitty bar, you know? And that's when I was like, all right, you kind of become a dick, you know? So you better stop being a dick.
But
then
did you stop being a dick, Chris?
2019, maybe.
Okay. All right.
No. It had to be way before that because I came back from LA in 2008. So maybe 2009.
Oh,
you know. Yeah.
So Dwight, who's I think the Pie Man is watching tonight, and he is also quite an acclaimed musician. I believe he plays bass. And
Dwight doesn't fuck around. Dwight is
No.
the shit.
he
Right?
is. Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. He knows his music. So,
Dude, he really does. Yeah.
you know, we could flog, you know, ball pythons all night, but is anybody opposed to talking about music a little bit? Because that's what.
Can I say something about music?
Yeah.
Just quick. Today on Facebook, I saw this thing, and it was, I don't know who it was, some random dude posted about, you know, why do these old dudes who shouldn't still be touring, you know, insist on touring? And he said, you know, Rod Stewart's like 81 or something
Yeah.
like that. And he said, you know, Rod Stewart collapsed on stage and really, and I thought, you know, what a selfish asshole, because those guys gave us so much pleasure for so many years. And I mean, I'm sure they love what they were doing, but they gave up a lot of their life to perform.
Yeah, absolutely.
If they
not an easy life.
If they still want to do it, let them do it. I can choose whether I want to go and watch that or not. If you don't want to see it, don't go. You know, like
well, like Bon Jovi recently, right? He had to call the concert at Madison Square Garden, and people were like, "Fuck him, he lost it years ago." Like, dude, this dude has done more in his life than you could ever hope to. You know, you fucking loser. Like you compare yourself to somebody like Bon Jovi, you better be fucking high up on that scale. You know. And even the Vince Neil from Motley Crue, they're like, this guy can't sing anymore. This guy can't. Yeah, you know, dude, he's put 40 years into this.
Yeah.
You know, you're 19. Shut the fuck up. You know. I mean,
think
really.
Slash as well. The other day, he was performing and fell over backwards on stage and stuff, and people are going, "Oh, you know, you're like, God, leave the guy alone." You know?
Yeah. Some of the most incredible guitar riffs ever written were, and he's a Reptile guy, Slash. Right? Like you hear a Slash guitar riff, it's like Slash,
you know, it's Slash.
Keith Richards.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, there's just so many. So everybody that's in the chat right now, write down top 5 rock bands of all time.
Why do they have to be rock bands?
Well, they can be bands. They can be bands. They don't have to be rock bands. And I'm curious to know what music everybody is into, and you know, if they were inspired by their parents or something like that in listening. Like, it's interesting. We have our grandson. He was with us for the week, and
he's 5.
He's 5, and we put him to bed, you know, at 8:30, and I said to Jayne, you know, he really wants to see the lights outside in the backyard. And can we wake him up and take him outside, and so he could see everything? And he comes out, and he's like looking at it like it's Neverland, you know, from Peter Pan, and it's just a magical space. And I said, do you want to listen to some music? He says, yeah, Papa, I do. And I said, what do you want to hear? And he says, Pink Floyd. You know, it's like, it's a lot of fun.
But then he asked for Pink Pony Club.
Pink Pony Club. By Chappell Roan, which is a great song.
Yeah.
Which is a great song. And it has a great guitar solo in it. You know, one of the few newer songs that has some great guitar in it. And but yeah, I mean, good music is good music.
And Tears for Fears, he asked for Tears for Fears.
Tears for Fears,
Well, Michael Graham said Jethro Tull.
Okay.
Right?
Oh, yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
Aurora said Bon Jovi Forever. Todd is like, the David Lee Roth stuff is kind of upsetting. Canceled every show on tour except Sturgis. That's cool, Todd, but fucking I don't remember David Lee Roth like he is now. I remember David Lee Roth when he was David Lee Roth. All right.
So David Lee Roth or Sammy Hagar?
David Lee Roth, yeah, without a doubt.
Sammy Hagar was pretty good.
He was good, but David Lee Roth.
I think Sammy Hagar was more melodic than David Lee Roth could ever hope to be, but I didn't think it was Van Halen. The Real McCoy, Nate said Zeppelin and the Beatles. And yeah, no, I'm happy the Beatles. But I'm not talking Beatles, I want to hold your hand. I'm talking Beatles, why don't we do it in the road? And she came in through the bathroom window, you know.
Right.
Let's see what else. David Lee Roth all day long. Jen says Aerosmith, Def Leppard, Gary Allen, most
Def
Motley
Leppard.
Crue.
Def
Def
Leppard.
Leppard, yeah.
Def Leppard's still crushing it right now.
Absolutely.
But would Def Leppard be Def Leppard without Mutt Lange?
Yeah, I think they would. Although I think Mutt Lange is like the sixth member of Def Leppard. You know,
you're right.
because he was the reason that all this happened. Oh, Aurora just killed it all. Fucking
What?
Ween. Fucking
Who?
Ween.
Who's
Oh,
Ween?
really? Okay.
All right.
Ween.
It could have been Justin Bieber.
I have to do Blind Mike.
Greatest
Let him talk.
greatest male vocalist ever.
Steven Tyler. Yeah.
Keep going with your bands. Who else?
I have to put on Blind Mike's because it probably took him 3 hours to write this. He just assumed that you were going to ask the question. Jeff Healey, Blind Like Me. Jeff Healey did a great, Angel Eyes and
Canadian.
Yep, yeah, he is. He was in Roadhouse too. All right, the Pie Man Dwight says Pink Floyd, Van Halen, yes, ELP, and Joni Mitchell.
ELP. Or
Asia.
ELO, Electric Light Orchestra. I think.
Yeah.
They were phenomenal. I mean, for me, my number one band is Pink Floyd. My number two band, and it hasn't been mentioned, is Genesis. I thought Genesis were
Peter Gabriel or Genesis.
Both. You know, Genesis were the only band in history that every subsequent album outsold the previous album. So even when it transitioned from Peter Gabriel, when it was, Hackett, Rutherford, Banks, and Phil Collins, and then Hackett left, and then the album, then there were three, and it moved on from there. But the only time they lost sales is when Phil Collins actually left, and they substituted Phil with a young singer from Scotland, which was actually Calling All Stations, an excellent album and an excellent song. But Genesis, I think, are in a league of their own as far as sound. And what kills me is when people go, "Oh yeah, Phil Collins, he's great. He can drum."
Yeah, well,
and it's like, really, like he's one of the top drummers ever in the history of rock and roll, easily, right? But yeah, those would be. And yes, we're a great band.
What else did people like?
Guns N' Roses, Shauna, Crystal from Gecko Diva, Fleetwood Mac, Pink Floyd, Eagles, Foo Fighters, and Bob Seger.
Foo Fighters.
Let me tell you something. Amazing. The Foo Fighters, I never gave them the respect that they deserve, but they are a great band. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's exhausting.
What the fuck? All right.
Yeah.
We went to see the Foo Fighters, and honestly, I don't know what Dave Grohl eats or drinks or does before he goes on stage. That man has got a lot of energy.
Yeah,
I went to a barbecue at Dave Grohl's house one time.
Really?
Yeah, but it was Dave Grohl. It wasn't Dave Grohl fucking a bunch of broads. It was Dave Grohl. I got kids now. I got to wake up early and drive them to school tomorrow. So get the fuck out at 11 o'clock.
Oh, cool.
Well, he lives in a very average house. Apparently, he doesn't live the lifestyle of super rich rock and roller.
It was definitely a nice house, right?
Well, I'm sure it was, but not like some of the houses that you would think a lot of people.
Right.
Do live in, but he's pretty. I think I have the utmost respect for him, and all the musicians in his band are amazing.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so
Jen
what else?
From Erie Reptile says Alanis. I don't know if Alanis.
Alanis Morissette.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Brilliant. Absolutely
and
brilliant.
Still brilliant.
And still brilliant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Best vocalist, the real McCoy said would be Luther Vandross or Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson fucking crushes it every time, man. Or crushed it every time. Fine
Yeah.
Mike said Genesis or Jimmy.
Jimmy Page?
No, he just I don't know. He's blind. You gotta fucking give him a little leeway.
Maybe
here.
Jimmy Eats
Genesis
World or
or
something
Jimmy.
like that. Okay, our favorite male vocalist, I think, who was undeniably one of the greatest, was George Michael.
Yeah, no, George Michael. I don't really know a lot of his stuff, but his Elton John cover, "Don't Let the Sun Go Down on Me,"
Yeah,
was
that's
incredible.
beautiful. Yeah.
It was.
And when he did Queen as well, Somebody to Love, that was really good.
Yeah, he performed with Queen.
Yeah.
For the
At
Freddie
Live Aid.
Mercury tribute.
And when he did Live Aid, he was good too. Freddie Mercury was good at Live Aid.
When Axl Rose came out with Elton John on the Queen benefit for Freddie Mercury, that was incredible. And did you see Extremes little medley that they did? That is just insane. That guy is probably the best guitarist in the world right now.
Really?
Who, the guy from Extreme?
Nuno Betancourt. Yeah, I think without a doubt he's one of the best guitarists, if not the best guitarist in the world right now.
Really?
Mike Duval said Jimi Hendrix.
Yeah, Jimi Hendrix. You can't deny that. That's for sure. As far as guitar players, for me, it's David Gilmour from Pink Floyd. I think he has some of the most memorable guitar solos ever.
No David Bowie fans?
No, apparently not.
Really?
Yeah, that was my first big I went to Catholic school up until grade 8, and then I went to a regular school in grade 9 and was introduced to David Bowie. And I went to see Bowie perform the Diamond Dogs tour, and I got to know David Bowie through Ziggy Stardust and the Spiders from Mars and Aladdin Sane and Pin-Ups and whatever.
Yeah.
And there's a guy that, holy jeez, did he ever nail it, with when he changed his persona to, Ziggy Stardust. Unbelievable. And I mean, as the story goes, he said to his bandmates, he says, okay, guys, we're going to put on tights, we're going to wear makeup, and we're going to wear things that glitter. And basically, we're going to put on women's clothes. And I mean, David Bowie was wearing dresses and looked like, he had long blonde hair and was dressing up like that way in the beginning. And then he transitioned to Ziggy Stardust. And the bandmates were like, no, we're not putting on this stuff. This is ridiculous. Like, no way. Well, he forced them into doing it. They ended up doing it. They went on stage. The women went absolutely nuts over this band. And the next day they were fighting over the mascara, And, and it's interesting when you look at so many performers that did that back then. Like even Elvis Presley, he wore makeup and mascara and whatever, and nobody thought any different about it. Liberace, was loved by all the old women, and you have to admire performers that can do that and put on that whole show. Elton John, great example of that.
So another question: what was everybody's first concert?
Yeah, what was your first live concert you went to? Which was like a real concert, not at a county fair or something like that, or a high school concert. What was
first real? Motley Crue with Warrant opening up for them.
Okay,
I think that was my first one.
Cool.
Yeah. And real quick, just to get to a couple of these, Join Reptiles says Stradivarius, Halloween, fucking going Halloween. I haven't Lou Reed and the Doors. Lou Reed and the Doors are awesome. Shauna says Queen, Rolling Stones,
Queen.
Yeah.
Pink Floyd, and Muse from Sentient Evolutions.
Muse are
Muse,
good.
very good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
AC/DC. Jen, I like Green Day too.
Yeah, I like Green Day.
Todd says Ozzy, Black Sabbath, Skid Row, Pantera, Alice in Chains, Stone Temple Pilots, Nirvana and Pearl Jam, Held Coil Reptiles. I grew up on Korn.
Korn, yeah.
Michael Graham says Richie Havens. Richie Havens, dude, I was introduced to Richie Havens like a year after I started playing guitar. And I was just like, dude, there's no point in me even learning how to play because I'm never going to be this good. Okay. Okay. Let's see. Let me redeem myself. Blue the Tiger. Okay. Hot young bassist. She's fantastic. Chris Cornell had some awesome stuff. Yeah. No, he definitely did. Simply Red. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
That's
good.
from the
Yeah,
Pie Man.
brilliant.
Chili Peppers, Bowie. I was introduced to Bowie with all the young dudes. The Doors, David Draymond of Disturbed.
Well, all the young dudes he loaned that song to Mott the Hoople because they were going to quit. I mean, they just couldn't come up with a hit. They had the talent, I guess. And he said, here's a song for you. Try this. And I mean, the rest is
Which
history.
is so funny because Mott the Hoople did all the way from Memphis, and that was a staple growing up. Let's see, Bowie, Santana, The Doors. All right, Clowning Around, Pythons. Oh, dude, give me a call or give me a DM. I want to talk to you. What's up, Chris? Shout out to the Fatman Nation. Black Sabbath. Alice Cooper. No, nobody's mentioned Kiss. I'm surprised.
Yeah, I mean that Kiss really was. I mean, you can't deny the influence they've had in showmanship. I'm not going to give them a ton of kudos for music, but they really figured out a formula that worked for them. I mean, arguably, they're one of the most commercially successful bands in music history.
In history, yeah.
You know,
they knew how to be rock stars, man.
Oh, yeah, 100%, 100%. But you know, they took David Bowie, Ziggy Stardust, and just made
Dumbed
it even
down.
well, or made it more elaborate because for the longest time you didn't know who any of the members of Kiss were. It's like this new band from Quebec called Angine de Poitrine. Have you heard of them?
No.
Oh
it's
my
weird.
God, it's weird.
It's weird
shit. Yeah, I can't get into it.
No.
A lot of people are into it. I mean, but it's just so different, and they're pretending to be aliens from another planet. There's two of them.
No one mentioned Arcade Fire.
Arcade Fire.
Yeah.
Arcade Fire. Yeah, I haven't. Yeah. Michael Graham said Cypress Hill. Jeff Beck is probably the greatest guitarist that ever lived.
Yes.
Blackheart Exotic says Cypress Hill. I have a Cypress Hill story. I was hanging out at the Rainbow one night with Be Real from Cypress Hill. And Fergie came in, right, from Black Eyed Peas.
Yeah.
And she came in and everybody ran up to her, right? And you know, what was like wanting to talk to her, right? And she gets up to me and I would just hang outside the Rainbow smoking. I didn't even go in, you know, because I didn't drink really back then. And Fergie comes up to me and she goes, you want a picture, big boy? And I go, I don't even know who you are, right? And then she goes, come hang out at my table, right? So she went to Be Real's table, Cypress Hill. And Fergie was like sitting on my lap, right? And then I realized when she was sitting on my lap, I was like, this is the girl that peed herself on the internet, right? During a concert. And I was just like, oh, you're going to have to get off me. And I just left and went back outside smoking and started smoking again, right? Let's see. First concert was Dope and Mushroom Head. Fucking I haven't heard of Mushroom Head in such a long time, man. Let's see. T.I. on Panama City Beach. I don't know who the hell that is. That's from Shauna. Tool is a great band. um, but not commercially.
Mhm.
Papa Roach, you know, they're okay. Todd says Kiss sucks, right?
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah, that's the way I feel as well. And
Kiss
it's
has Kiss for the best lyrics, says Join Reptiles. Yeah, dude, lick it up. Absolutely.
yeah,
Fucking no doubt.
yeah, pretty basic, but
Yeah. It's not very deep, that's for sure.
no.
No.
Bare naked ladies. Oh, the Big Bang people, right? Chickadee
Nobody
China, the Chinese chicken. Look,
nobody has mentioned Boston or Kansas.
Yeah,
right. Nobody's mentioned
Boston.
Aerosmith, right?
Boston. Well, Aerosmith were, yeah, phenomenal.
Yeah.
But Boston, I mean, I remember when the Boston album came out, it was like, what? Like, this
Yeah,
is
yeah.
incredible.
I had it
No,
on
no,
8-track.
Yeah, so did
no,
I.
no,
I had it on
nobody
8 track.
nobody ever tracked like that, right? Like when the
No,
first Boston
no.
album came out, you're like, holy shit, man. Where you know these guys had 30 tracks or whatever. Um, Blind Mike says Meatloaf, the loaf.
Yeah.
Look,
Oh,
Meatloaf.
I'm
Yeah.
not gonna
Yeah.
hate on
was,
Meatloaf.
yeah, that was amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah,
Let's see.
yeah.
That's who I dressed up for on Halloween. I was like 4 or 5 years old. Uh, yes, Meatloaf. Uh, let's see. I was very young and I wasn't there by choice, but you said first. Oh, Bare Naked Ladies was her first concert. Okay.
Hmm.
My Chemical Romance. Yeah,
Oh,
you know what? If
yeah.
Big as Shauna
Yeah.
would say that, Jesus
Yeah.
Christ,
You know
fucking.
who?
I
Another.
let Shauna fucking add to my playlist for the fucking a trip to Gettysburg one time,
Uh-huh.
and she did put on a lot of shit songs by a lot of shit bands like My Chemical Romance. Rebel Meets Rebel, never heard of them. Yeah, Journey. Nobody mentioned Journey.
oh my God, Steve Perry. Oh, he's an angel when he sings. Well, he
Yeah,
was.
great vocalist.
Yeah.
Great
Yeah.
vocalist. You know who's a good
Eagles,
band
yes.
from the United States? I think they're from New York State. MGMT. Are you familiar with MGMT?
No, not at all.
Yeah, they're really
No.
good too.
Oh, they're
Yeah.
great. Really, really
There-
good.
there's a couple
Different.
of bands I've seen online, one band called The Feel or Feel. They're like total 70s young kids. I mean, they're a really great band.
I think I've seen
Uh,
those.
then there's a
Mhm.
song, a band called Broken Guns, I think. They're really well. They sound a lot like Motley Crue. System of a Down. I don't know
Oh.
if I would put
Mhm.
them in. They do that song like Broccoli or something, right? Like stupid. Oh no, not broccoli. It's the fish. Something sushi, right?
Okay.
I can't
let's see.
remember.
Yeah.
Well,
Queens
all I can say is if there's Pink Floyd fans out there, the David Gilmour released a new album 2 years ago, I think, called Luckin' Strange, and there's a song on the album called Scattered. And if you like Pink Floyd, put that on and play it loud.
And there's a really good band touring called Brit Floyd.
Brit Floyd.
They're a Pink Floyd cover band, and they're really, really good.
Phenomenal.
Right. Yeah.
I mean,
really
we saw Pink Floyd 3 times, like the real band Pink Floyd.
Right.
Sometimes it's good to be old. And so, we've experienced it, and easily 1994 Pulse Tour, Pink Floyd was the greatest tour we've ever seen, greatest concert we've ever seen. Well, Brit Floyd is not as elaborate because obviously it was a huge stage, but boy, they really, really nail it note for note, and they're absolutely phenomenal, and the light show is incredible. And there's a lot of people in the reptile industry I've recommended them to that have gone and seen them and came back and said, wow, like that was incredible. But I hope everybody, I'm curious to know if people like talking about music and doing, because very often, like what Jayne and I will do is we'll go outside in the back, and we have a sound system back there. We got the laser showing, and we'll pick a band and we'll play the library, and we'll talk about the band and different songs, what different songs meant and stuff like that. And I find
Yeah,
that,
well, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but
Yeah.
I think that Reptile people are definitely music people because Adam
Yeah.
from Proper Royals and I
he's
used
a
to do
musician,
something for Patreon where he would introduce his songs to me and show me videos, and I would introduce my songs to him. And people seem to like it on the Patreon. Like people definitely brought in stuff. So when my blind Mike, man, it probably took him forever to type this. When I clean the animals, the snakes and stuff, I put on 70s and 80s music. Yo,
Cool.
one thing I will say is Shona just helped me turn the whole house into a smart house, right? So I got Alexa everywhere, right?
Yeah.
So I could just be like, play me whatever music. And I told Alexa to play me 90s music the other day, and or 90s rock and roll. And what I do have to just say is fucking who's that? Fuck. I had the joke already too. Dave Matthews. Dave Matthews sucks.
Yeah.
I mean, that's fucking just like a bun. I mean, he was the first guy that I saw on stage with a baseball hat on and fucking shorts. And I was like, when did it become cool to show up on stage looking like this shit? Well, like a fucking dad getting ready to play tennis. That dude sucks. I cannot get into that. Muse was my favorite concert. I've seen multiple times.
I bet you they would be good. Yeah.
So, yeah, it's what do you think of AI music? Because
No.
Sometimes so I also have a second passionate job, and I teach trampoline classes, like on little mini trampolines. And there's all us women who are in our 60s and our 70s, and we're all bouncing around on these trampolines. And I can't find any new good music. So everything I go back to is like 80s. I mean, I'm a child. I love 80s alternative stuff. But the new stuff, I'll say, Mark, ask Apple to play me new stuff. And we usually tolerate like 3 songs. And I'm like, you got to turn this shit off. It's awful. Awful.
There's a band called Late to a Funeral or whatever. And they're a girl Christian rock band. And all the videos they have are, it's obvious where you're like, they're AI women. All right. And they're playing these songs that aren't bad, they're not bad, but the amount of people that fell for it, like it was a real band, is unbelievable. And I mean thousands of comments like, I'm gonna see you when you come to my town and all this other shit, and you're like, dude, certain things you could obviously notice, like AI still hasn't got the smiles down perfect, or AI will still fuck up the guitar where, like, let's say there's a marker on like frets 3, 5, 7, 12. There'd be markers all down the guitar, so AI still can't figure out details like that, right? But it was so obvious that they were an AI band. And the second that everybody found out they were an AI band, some guy, did a video about it. Their views dropped to like 30 likes and 10 comments. And that's from like, 700 comments and 20,000 likes. So listen, I use AI a lot. All right. But I don't, I'm not claiming it's real, like whatever guy came up with this fake band made a lot of money off it,
Can we not bring back Guitar Hero?
Yeah, I hated Guitar Hero. I was like,
come on. I used to be able to, Mark and I would play all the time, and I'd beat him all the time, and I really miss that game.
Did you ever see that? Did you ever see the South Park episode where they were like, "We're looking for a guitar player for the band," and the guy's like, "I could really shred," and then he walks in and he's
With
just
a
like,
Guitar Hero.
with a Guitar Hero guitar, and he's
Yeah.
like hitting all the buttons really fast, you know.
We used to play that game till like
3 in the morning.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I remember our son came home once, and
He
we
played
were
in a
we
band.
we were yeah, he played in a band. He toured across Canada and
And the US.
the US.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we were downstairs, and I've got a good sound system, whatever, and we were just
It was Paramore. We loved
yeah,
playing
we
Paramore.
and
Paramore,
the Foo Fighters and everything like that, and he's standing at the top of the stairs. He's like, "What the fuck?" And we're like, "What?" And we both have these guitars strapped on, right? And he's like, "I heard you as I turned onto the street." Like, right. But we had such a great time doing it, and I can't play an instrument, but I know good music. But yeah, hey, you got to have fun, right?
So do you want to hear my first 4 concerts?
Yeah,
First one was ABBA.
fucking ABBA, dancing queen.
ABBA.
You
Right.
can't deny the success of ABBA.
Yeah.
No, you cannot.
No.
All right.
Second, Barry Manilow.
Yeah,
Mm.
Manilow is not
And
not
again-
so bad.
And again, you can't deny the success of Barry Manilow.
Third one, Herman's
Great
Hermits.
songwriter. Hermits, yeah.
Do you know Herman's Hermits?
Yeah.
Yeah. And for Queen, and then after that, Dire Straits. So 5.
Well, you got to see Queen with
Yeah.
Freddie Mercury.
Yeah.
I've seen Queen twice. The first time was before Bohemian Rhapsody when they were playing in a little shitty local place. And then after Bohemian Rhapsody came out, it was like a huge stadium show, like within
Yeah.
6 months, a
Very
year.
quickly.
Right.
And
right.
we've seen Queen with Adam Lambert as well, who I do have to give a shout out to, did a good job.
Yeah. Again, I know, right? Says Crocus, Great White, and Triumph. Triumph's Canadian band, right?
Triumph, yes, yes. You
Great
like Triumph.
White. I don't know if that would
Yeah,
necessarily
Triumph were pretty
be
good. Yeah, my headphone just went.
Okay. All right.
I can't hear him. Take
All
your
right.
headphone out. Maybe
take-
we can hear him.
Yeah, if you put
Can we hear you now?
I don't know.
Yeah.
You got to close the top first.
Okay, no, I can hear you on the phone now.
Yeah.
But
Oh,
our
okay. All right.
headphones just quit. So anyway, maybe that's
All
a
right.
sign. It is.
Yeah,
11
I was gonna
o'clock. We've
say,
been doing this 2 hours.
Yeah, no, I know. And normally I go an hour tops because I just don't give a shit about snake talk anymore, right? So it's
Yeah,
just
well,
like-
and that's why I thought we'd mix it up, and
Yeah.
that's why I thought I'd, ask Jayne if she would do it with me because, after all, it is Markus Jayne.
yeah.
And,
Not only that, but two ugly dudes talking to each other it's tolerable for a certain amount of time, right?
Oh, for
And then-
sure. Like
then
everybody
that's
would
it.
tune
Yeah.
out for
Yeah.
sure.
All right.
Sure. Well, I hope everybody enjoyed this one because we did.
Yeah, so do I, and hopefully it was something a little different for you guys. And Mark, I'm glad. Thank you for everything, man. Mark was around when Eyeballs was around, and
Yeah.
we sold a snake to Mark, and we were just like, "Yo, we could just quit now, right?" Fucking Mark Mandic bought a snake from us. It's not going to get any better than this, okay? And then
Do you know,
No,
no, it's okay. I'll take him down a notch because then Justin and Ozzy bought a snake from us, and then we were like,
Yeah.
all right.
yeah. No, I remember that.
Yeah.
It was a spot-nosed banana.
Right. That you thought was something else like 6 months later. And you even called me and was like, "Are you sure the parents are whatever?" And I was just like, "I'm pretty sure it was just this."
And
So
I didn't want to break it to you, and I didn't want to complain because I knew you were really trying hard to do, but it never did prove out to be spot nose. But
No
that's
shit,
okay.
really?
Really?
Okay. Oh,
Really? But
Oh.
that's okay.
I'm sorry.
Shit happened. No, you don't have to
I'll
apologize.
give you some money back when I see you next
No,
month.
I don't want any money back.
You can buy
Hey,
us
buy
dinner
buy
at
us
the keg.
dinner at the keg.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah. It'll only cost me $100 for the two of you, so it's perfect. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my God, guys! Thank you for you know. I got to meet Jayne last year, and Mark's been a friend of ours since way before eyeballs. So thank you for everything, man. I appreciate you, and thank you for coming on tonight, man.
Well, it's our pleasure.
And whatever you do in the future, good luck, and you'll do great.
And we're gonna stay.
We're
We stay in touch anyway. So I got some ideas. Chris.
Well, you just let me know, and we'll figure it out.
We can do some shit.
Yeah, you tell me, and fucking we'll do it. All right. Well, let's talk about that in Canada. All right.
Yeah, sounds good.
All right, brother. Take it easy, Jayne. Thank you so much.
All right. Good night, everyone.
Good night, man.
Good night.
Oh, fucking cool people, right? Cool people, cool conversation. Listen, I didn't get to it yet, but everybody go see a herp show. Okay, go check out Sea Serpents. Go check out let's see, who else do we got here? My boy Mickey over at Show Me Marketplace. Justin, obviously, go check out Canova. Sorry I didn't get to all the sponsors tonight. Had Mark Mandic on, man. What do you expect? Guys, thank you. We will be back in 2 weeks. I'm hopefully I think I'm having my old Puerto Rican friend on the next episode. So we'll see. He's coming back in a big way, and I fucking love the guy. And you guys know, everybody knows Brian Rivera. So I can't wait for that to happen. And guys, thank you for staying for 2 fucking hours, man. I appreciate you guys. And I will see you guys in 2 weeks. Maybe we'll do an open Zoom call sometime within that time. I don't know. Maybe. We'll see what happens. Take it easy, guys.